G'day everyone, welcome back to my weekly tipping video. As always, this preview is brought to you by PlayUp. If you are thinking of having a punt on the NRL this round, make sure it's through PlayUp, guys. But as always, please gamble responsibly. G'day everyone, Clarkey here. Welcome back to my round 25 NRL tipping video, looking at the final round of the NRL season, which I'm sort of looking forward to, but I'm also realizing that the season's getting towards the end. It's one of those catch-22s. We love the finals, but it also signifies that the season is running out. So depending on how you look at it. But let's jump straight into tonight's video, guys. Thursday night, the Canberra Raiders take on the Sydney Roosters at BB Prince Stadium. I'm with the Roosters in this one. I can see they are slight betting favourites. And they do have some big inclusions this week. The Raiders do have a lot of pressure in this game. It's as simple as this. They must win. And how they respond to that pressure will ultimately make or break their season. So a lot of pressure on their shoulders and a lot of question marks as to whether they can rise to the occasion. For the Roosters, obviously, they'll be without Joseph Manu. That's a big exclusion. But they do get Josh Morris back. And having a veteran at this time of the year can be really invaluable for the team around you. And just for the fact that he's been in the finals before. He's played for his state. He's played for his country. Nothing's going to daunt him there. So a perfect replacement to come straight back in. It looks like Sam Walker is coming at 14 again. So potentially they won't use him unless they need him. But the big reason as to why I've tipped them, guys, Angus Crichton and Jared Waerea-Hargreaves are back. I suspect they'll be very fired up after what occurred last week with the Rabbitohs. They were obviously there on the sideline. So I'm going to go the Roosters there, guys, but it will be a close one. So I'll only go the Roosters to win 1-12. Friday night, 6 p.m. at Cbus Super Stadium, the Cronulla Sharks take on the Melbourne Storm. The Melbourne Storm have some massive ins and outs. Pappenhausen starts at fullback again. I guess that's a big one there because Nico Hines starts at 6. Here's some of their outs. Cameron Munster, Christian Welch, Felice Kafusi, Jesse Bromwich, Josh Adokar, Kenny Bromwich, Remy Smith, and Tom Eisenhuth. So it's a massively different Storm's side. But one thing I will say about the Storm is every time they lose a game, they tend to respond in really dominant fashion. And so I do think that as long as they do have Jerome Hughes there in the halves and they have someone like Nico Hines with him, that's obviously massive. Brandon Smith at hooker, again, massive. So I do actually see the Storm winning here. I think they can win by 13 plus because I think they'll be so focused and angry at themselves that they let last week slip. They let the record slip. And I think they'll be out to make amends. And I think if the best Melbourne Storm team rocks up and they're at their very best, then this Cronulla Sharks side, realistically, whilst they have been great this year, they just don't have what it takes to match it with the Storm. Not that anyone in this competition does, besides maybe the Panthers. So no insult there to the Sharkies. But I'm going to go to the Melbourne Storm 13 plus. Later that night at 8:05 p.m, the Parramatta Eels take on the Penrith Panthers. Penrith are extremely short price, and rightly so. As it appears, the Parramatta Eels have opted to rest all of their key players. No Gutherson, no Paulo, no Niokore, no Mitch Moses, and no Wonga Blake. So they're obviously 4 huge exclusions. Whereas looking at the Panthers side, they're relatively full strength. In fact, I believe they are full strength. There's not too many changes I think you'd make to a full-strength Panthers side here. So I don't need to explain this tip too much, guys. Yes, the Parramatta Eels did spring an upset last round, but they're not going to spring it here on the Panthers, not with this side. I think the fact that if they win this, they could go into the top 4, and Brad Arthur chose to rest his side regardless, probably shows where the Eels' mentality's at the moment. So I'll tip the Panthers there, guys, by 13 plus. Saturday, 3 p.m. at Suncorp Stadium, the Brisbane Broncos take on the Newcastle Knights. I like the Broncos here for an upset. I think they are capable of springing an upset. For the Knights, they'll be without Hymel Hunt, Jacob Saifiti, Jaden Brayley, and Mitchell Barnett. Whereas for the Broncos, they'll only be without Brendan Piacura and Thomas Flegler, who are both, young guns. So the Broncos here are improving every single week. This is at Suncorp. It's Milford's last game, probably ever, in a Broncos jersey. There's a lot of reasons for the Broncos to turn up here, and there's a lot of reasons for the Knights to switch off. They've already secured 7th spot. Whether they win or lose this game, it doesn't affect their season in any way. And therefore, I do think we will see the Knights rock up with a bit of a blasé attitude. Not the best Knights team that we might see from them. So I'll go the Broncos there. I think the Knights will still turn up to an extent. So I'll go the Broncos 1-12. Saturday, 5:30 p.m, Queensland Country Bank Stadium. The North Queensland Cowboys take on the Manly Seagulls. For the Seagulls, again, they haven't rested any of their stars. And so you can't go past Manly here. You can't go past Manly 13 plus. Yes, the Cowboys will definitely be wanting to finish their season on a high note. Before Manly, they've slipped into the top 4 and they're playing to keep that 4th spot. So I do see them winning this game, which means we'll probably see Manly versus Storm in the first week of the finals, which is going to be absolutely huge. But if Manly rock up, if Manly are full strength, guys, we know they're too dominant for the Cowboys this year, who only just managed to snap a 10-game losing streak last round. So I'll go Manly 13+. To finish out that round, guys, at Sunshine Coast Stadium, the South Sydney Rabbitohs take on the St. George Illawarra Dragons. I'll probably go the Dragons here for an upset. Again, Rabbitohs have got 3rd spot secured. They don't have too much to play for, whereas the Dragons will be playing for a lot of pride. They do have some good moves that they've made this week. Junior Amone, he starts at 5'8", love it. Tyrell Sloan, he starts at fullback, love it. There's a lot of things to love about this Dragons side moving forward. Yeah, they're in a bit of a rough patch, but they are making the right changes, getting the right key men, the experience for the Bunnies. No Adam Reynolds, no Damien Cook, no Dane Gagai, obviously no Latrell Mitchell, no Liam Knight, no Tom Burgess. There's some big exclusions, and so if it does get into a tight battle here, I think the Dragons are capable of winning. I'll tip the Dragons to win this one 1-12. Sunday at 2 p.m, the Gold Coast Titans take on the New Zealand Warriors at Cbus Super Stadium. The Titans will know by this game whether they're making the 8 or not. So what I mean by that is, if Storm beat the Sharks Friday at 6 p.m, Titans are alive. And if Roosters beat the Raiders, then Titans are alive. So Titans have a few results that need to go their way, but they are capable. They are short price favourites here against the Warriors. If I was a betting man, I think it's definitely worth having a bit on the Warriors, just because as a big Titans fan, I guess, quote unquote, we are known to shit the bed a fair bit. So I am going to tip my side because I'm tipping with my heart, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Warriors do spring an upset here, guys. Bunty Afoa and Chad Townsend out for the Warriors. For the Titans, they look to be as strong as they can name at the moment, really, besides AJ Brimson at fullback and Ash Taylor, again, left out of the 6 jersey, which means he has, in all likelihood, played his last game for the Titans. So definitely one to watch there with his future. But the Gold Coast Titans, guys, I'll tip us 1-12 against the New Zealand Warriors. To close out the round at Moreton Daily Stadium, the Canterbury Bulldogs take on the West Tigers. I'm probably going to tip the Bulldogs here for an upset. I'm tipping a lot of upsets this round. I think the Tigers are definitely deserve to be favourites. I think they should win this game. But I have a hunch, the Doggies, that they might just pull a win there in the last round for their fans and send Will Hopewadi out a winner from the club. So to summarise my tips for this round, guys, one last time, I'm with the Roosters, Storm, Panthers, Broncos, Sea Eagles, Dragons, Titans, Bulldogs. That wraps up my round 25 NRL tipping video, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you all next week when we preview the first week of the finals. Cheers.